Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we are going to be doing some discussions about the city here. And so ever since the start of the channel, it has pretty much remained the same here. I thought I'd fire up the train just to kind of show you guys what that is looking like, because the point of this video is that a lot of stuff is changing. I am trying to get your guys' feedback. I already spoke to the channel members about this. And so if you're interested in becoming a channel member and getting early access to stuff, exclusive access to videos, as well as behind the scenes updates and polls, make sure to click the join button or click the link down in the description below to become a channel member. That would be greatly appreciated. But a lot of stuff is changing. That's the point. And ever since the start of the channel, this has been pretty much the same here. And so I kind of want to do something different. And so we're going to kind of go through a couple of different things that I'm thinking of changing, and we are going to start doing that right now. All right, so I stopped the train because I don't know how loud it is on video, but the first thing that I want to talk about is actually the train station. I like it because like I said, this is what it looks like when you walk in the room. I've said that a number of times at this point, but I'm actually thinking of putting the train station here. Now, instead of just taking it and kind of copying and pasting it, what I'd have to do, I'd have to change a couple of things. First and foremost would be the footbridge and this extra section out here, this extra platform. That would have to go, because if I have a track here and I also have a track here, I can't have a platform on this side here. It would be like 2 studs thick, and I used to have that before I put the expansion table in. I had like a 2 stud thick platform here. I didn't really like that, so I think it's better if I just have the one platform here, and then this will just be like a siding or like a leading line or something like that, and then the main line is going to be right here, and then the train station would be here. So then this road would have to get moved over one like set of 16 studs, I mean. So then instead of it being here, this road would now be here, and it would cut through the edge of the table like that. And then in order to keep this a 2 base plate block right here, what I would have to do is remove this double wide road and make it a single lane road. Like how most of my city is one-way roads, I would have to make this a one-way road as well, which I'm not opposed to at all. I think that's fine, and it'd be a better use of the space. So then the museum, or potentially a different building, which I'll touch on later, would go in this block. So it would start here, come out to about here, and then come down and back. So then that would move over 16 studs. And then I'm thinking this block would stay the same, but let me know if you guys want to see this changed as well. I'd be pretty curious to hear about that. And so you're probably wondering, well, if you put the train station here along this whole straight here, what are you going to do about the farm? What are you going to do about this nature area and the mountain and all that? That is going to go. That's going to get completely torn down. And don't worry, those pieces will get used and reused in a different part of the city, which I will touch on in just a second here. But the train station would go along this way. And then behind the museum here, from pretty much there all the way over, would be a bunch of buildings. I could have a big block, or I could have 2 smaller blocks. It doesn't really matter. I guess it's dependent on how many roads I want to have. So that would be pretty cool to have right there. And then coming over this way with that double wide road, what I would do is I would put it here. So instead of having this curve kind of coming through, I would put an extra set of road plates here. And then so it would be this road plate section is going that way for traffic, and then the road plate section here would be going that way. I'd have to move the apartment building over 16 studs, and I'd also have to lose one of the sidings here, and then all of these base plates here would move over 16 studs as well. So then they would all be in line with this right here, and then all of these buildings would be in line with that right there. I think that would be pretty cool. I think that would just make this look a lot better too, because I don't love this curve here. It doesn't really look that great. And speaking of sidings, actually, this siding here would go. If I move the train station over to there, I wouldn't keep a siding here. So it would just be the one train track going through. And then for this area right here, I have a bunch of different stuff here at the moment because I'm moving some stuff around and I'm trying to figure out how to plan for this because I'm like 90% sure that I want to do this, but I want your guys' feedback on certain details that I should or should not be doing. But I want to raise up more of this expansion table here. So like you guys can see, I have part of the expansion table raised up. And so the expansion table itself is this piece of wood down here. But then I have a second piece of wood on it with its own table legs that match the height of the original table. I want another section of that. And I want it to be from here, pretty much all the way to the edge, and then kind of coming down to here. And then it would line up with this wall right here. Or maybe, plus or minus 16 studs. I haven't fully decided. But this whole middle section here would be raised up so then I could put buildings on it, or perhaps even a residential area as well. That would be a pretty cool thing to have here. And then the water would be surrounding the edge as well. So I think that would be pretty cool. I think that would be really neat. But then again, I'm not totally sure about that just because that's a lot. So now you're probably wondering, where's that going to go? Where is all of this going to happen? And I'm actually planning on creating an expansion table for the city. So as of right now, the main table is here. This expansion table is here. And then there's a table just down the way that has the clone base on it, which if you're not watching those videos, I highly recommend it. And then at the end of the room here is my desk and also a shelf. I drew the room out on graph paper, and that's actually what I did to start the city. That's how I typically plan stuff, and I'm a visual learner, and so that kind of helps me with that. But I realized if I shuffle some things around, I could actually put the clone base where that desk is and that shelf, and then where the clone base is, I actually have an entirely new open space for more city. And then the only thing would be that I need to add a bridge going over to that table. So I would need a bridge for road and then a bridge for the train as well. So then this section here would probably be like a conjoined bridge. So part of it would be road, the other part would be train. And then over here, I would probably have a switch coming this way. And then that would be a second bridge as well. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. That is just my thoughts on the matter. I just really quick wanted to update you guys on that because I think that's going to happen. And I think that is where I want the city to go. So let me know your guys' feedback on that. And actually one other thing is the train shed. So like I said, I'd have to get rid of that one siding there so I could push all the base plates back. That engine shed would end up going in this corner right here. So then the engine shed would be in the corner, and then it would have its own siding or leading line here, and then there would be a switch somewhere in the middle. And then this track, the main line, would come through here, and then it wouldn't go to the edge of the table. It would curve right to here, and then it would come all the way down. And then I'll figure out how to connect these two, whether I use a Trix Bricks, like a third-party switch track that, is on a curve. So it's one line here, and then it splits into two, and it goes like that. I could do that, or I could just keep this curve here, and then I could have a switch track there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with that. But I think that covers everything. It was the moving the train station. That was one. Getting rid of all of that and putting buildings on that other part. That makes two. Changing this main block here is 3. Let me know what you guys think about that. And then raising up the middle area here makes 4. And the museum makes 5. Now, I haven't talked about the museum yet, so I'm just going to touch on that really quick before the end of the video. I was actually thinking about taking that whole block with the museum and the little park space out in front of it and putting it here next to the train track that's going this way. So then the museum would back up to the tracks, and then I would have this whole space here. And then I could put whatever on this side. Again, assuming I don't put the residential area here. I'm leaning towards putting the residential area on that expansion table with all of the foliage and stuff like that, because I want that to be a little bit more rural. I want it to be a lot more green, and I want this to be more like downtown. So that's my thought process on it. And then so the museum would move here, and then the town hall would replace it, because I did a little bit of research, aka just going through my own pieces as well as the parts list for the town hall. And I actually have a decent amount of the pieces, except for the dark orange, obviously. but I have most of the pieces that I need to build the town hall, which is pretty crazy. So that might actually be happening in the very near future. So definitely stay tuned for that, as well as click subscribe if you haven't already, as well as turn the bell notification on so you don't miss when these changes happen, as well as potentially building the town hall and everything else like that. So I just wanted to show you guys my kind of thought process on everything. I wanted to let you guys know what I'm up to, because you'll probably start to see some of these changes in the next week or so. I'm like 80% confident in most of these, or maybe like 90% confident in most of these changes, but let me know if there's something I should or should not do. My reason for putting the train station over here was just so that it would be easier to kind of connect these buildings here with the area over here. And then I could also put buildings along this stretch here, buildings along this stretch here, kind of back to like on either side of the tracks. That was kind of what I was thinking. And then the train station would have its own dedicated space over here. That's my thought process on it. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. I just wanted to let you know what I'm doing. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on anything that I talked about today, there was quite a lot, but mainly those 4 or 5 points that I had talked about. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd be very curious to hear what you guys would do or what I should not do. That would be greatly appreciated. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.